All right, so I like to kind of knock out authentication as quick as possible. And we're going to be trying to do some authentication with Google. So let's go to Google Auth and I'll try to get that set up. So let's go to console.cloud.google.com and I want to create a new project, which I can go here, I can click new project, and I will call this online course platform. Let's go ahead and switch over to that project, and I'm going to go to I'm going to go to API services, credentials. A couple things we got to set up here. First thing we need to do is set up the consent screen, I believe. So let's do that. I'll say this is an external site, and I will say online course platform. Go ahead and pick my email, I guess. Don't have a logo. Don't need this stuff, I don't think. Authorized domains. Well, let's just pretend we have one. So I'll say like learn.webdevcody.com. I'll just put webdevcody.com. How about that? I don't know what it needs to be, but that should work. Let's click save and continue. And I think everything else we can kind of just like default. So I'll just go ahead and click save, 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 whatever. Back to dashboard. Okay, so now we have consent screen. I think that's needed just to be able to like sign in with Google. And then what we could do is we can go to API keys, and I'm going to go ahead and make a new credentials. So I'm going to say create a new OAuth client ID, I believe is what we want. I'll say it's a web application, and I will call it online course platform. Add URI. So I think here what we need to do is we need to say like localhost 3000. And then for the redirect URIs, since we're using NextAuth, we could probably say localhost API auth callbacks Google. I don't remember if it's callbacks or callback. Yeah, I think it's actually just callback. No S. So let's make sure we get that right. And I think that should be good for right now. Let's just go ahead and click save. I think it is on port 3000, yeah. So click create, and then we should get some client secrets and IDs. Let's just grab this. And we're going to go to our .env file here. And we're going to go ahead and just change this up a little bit. So I'm going to say Google client ID is equal to this. And the secret, we'll say Google client secret is equal to this. Go ahead and delete the Discord stuff. I'm going to search the whole project for Discord because we actually don't even want Discord here. And I'm going to change these to Google. Nothing wrong with Discord. I just don't think, for a product, I don't think Discord's like the thing you should be using for your authentication. You should probably be using Google. This is Google client ID. This should be Google provider. By the way, I'm in the NextAuth setup section. So this is how you can like configure NextAuth to have additional providers. That's I'm kind of jumping around. But we just need to make sure that we're using the Google provider that's kind of built in the NextAuth and not the Discord one, so that it can load in the correct keys and let us log in using that. So I think we should be good. I mean, there's some Discord stuff in the README and then over here. So we're going to go ahead and copy those two things into .env instead, like that. I do believe we have to set NextAuth secret to get this working. And luckily there is a link here, or there's a command here you can run. So if I just run this, it should give us like a random ID that we can use for our NextAuth secret. You don't want to leak this stuff, right? These things need to not be ever leaked. So let's go back to the example. And I'm just going to say replace me here. We don't want to leak those, and I don't want to commit those to the repo. So let's just do that. And I will have to remind myself to change these before I publish this video so that you guys don't do something with them. But let's just try this out. Let's just go ahead and say npm run dev. We'll restart the server real quick. And let's see if we can get a header. Well, we already have a header in the application, right? So let's go to where that header is being displayed, which I think is in like app. I think we have a header somewhere. Let's see. Okay, that wasn't app. That was, I think I just put it in the index because, okay, so let's go down. We got the navbar here, and we got the header here, and we got some icons over here. So let's go back to main time, which I think is over here, and let's see if there's like some better stuff for the navbar. type it in here, AppShell. And I guess I'm trying to see if there's an example of like logging in. I mean, they have their login down here, which is kind of different from what I would expect. Got the navbar. I think that's where it has like the user section. Okay, so let's grab this. Navbar section user. Navbar section brand and main links. Brand and main links. So there's just different styles to the AppShell. I guess it's just a matter of like, what do you want? Do you want it to have a header? I kind of like the header here, but I do think I want this user thing over here. Let's view the full source code down here. Go back to navbar, and we're going to go ahead and copy this whole thing. Let's go over to the navbar section that we have, and I'm going to copy this stuff in. See what happens. And I don't know if is brand something that was made custom, user and brand. Yeah, these are custom components. So let's go back over here. Let's see what brand looks like. Just copy some stuff. It's funny, I said let's not use Tailwind because I have to copy and paste stuff, and I am basically copy and pasting everything from another library. So not sure if this helps at all using Mantine over Tailwind, but hey, we're going to stick with it. We're going to get a good feel for how it works. So we got the main links here. Let's just go ahead and pull in the main links. Let's just go ahead and put this, we should probably clean up this code a little bit. I'm going to make a components directory, and I'm going to go ahead and put like a shell directory. And I'm going to go ahead and put a main links.tsx. Go ahead and copy all this code in. And be good. Let's go over here. I'm going to go ahead and try to auto import this. And then also let's grab user. Again, like I'm just trying to get this working, and I'll come back and I'll refactor the code. I think people often watch videos and they expect the code to be perfect like the moment it's written, and like that's not how it works in the real world, right? We kind of just get stuff working and then we go back and we get it better. Let's import a user here. And yeah, let's see what happens in our UI here. We got some icon links over here. It's pretty good. We got this toggle thing here. I might actually get rid of this section. We don't need the top section now that I think about it. So let's just remove that whole section here. Cool, we got links. We got an X up here that we don't really need. And then I think if I get rid of the height, I think it works. There we go. That looks pretty good, right? Let me zoom out and make sure this works fine. Now, I'm not really a fan of like this thing being down here. I think it's kind of weird, but we'll go with it just because it works. All right, so let's see if there's a way to like get this to say log in if you're not logged in, and then show your icon and name and an email if you are logged in. So let's try to add a button here. Let's go ahead and just add a button. This is login. And see what happens. Auto import this. Go over to our app. Okay, we got a button here. So how do we know if we're logged in or not, right? Well, we're using NextAuth, so we could probably, inside this user component, we could say user is equal to use user. I think it's called use session, right? We're using NextAuth, so it's use session. And then the user thing we can use to dynamically show the button. So like if with the user dot data is defined, I think we could just show the user. Otherwise, we show the button that says login. And let's do that. So how do we do this? Let's take the whole avatar box, the icon. Okay, I think I need to move this out of the group. And instead, we'll put the group inside of that ternary like this. Save that. And now this group should only show if you're logged in. Now the button, what we should probably do is we make this an on click. And we could potentially just call, I think there's one called sign in. So if you import that, I think that should work. Although I might need to put this in an anonymous function because my ESLint is complaining. Sign in comes from NextAuth. Okay, this is a dumb ESLint error that I hate. So I might actually disable this. So let's go to ESLint, and I think I can go to here. I can say rules, and I want to disable this one, which I think I could just do this, and I can say off maybe. Let's see if that fixes it. So that rule is basically to like tell us, hey, if you have a promise that you're not actually catching in case it were to throw an error. But honestly, I just don't care. So if I click login, that should take us to the NextAuth login page, and I can click sign in with Google. That should take me to Google. I can click my account. That should hopefully redirect me to my app. I don't know why we got a hydration issue. Expected server HTML to contain a matching button in button. Inside of box, meantime core and style buttons, inside a user. So there's something wrong with this logic. Not sure why. What we could maybe do is instead, we could say if there is no user.data. So if there is no user data, I'm just going to return null. And let's see if that actually fixes the issue at all. So we don't have a way to log out. I think if we clicked on this thing, like it'd be nice if Mantine gave us a component that did that pop out. I think we're good with the credentials for now. I might just pin this so it's out of our way. NextAuth, we seem like we're good. This seems good. Yeah, let's go back to Mantine and let's go to user. Go back to AppShell. And I wonder if there's a way to like, it kind of stinks like they have this thing that looks like a button, but they don't have functionality for like what happens when you click the button. So I'm gonna have to go and figure out how to display a pop-up or some type of like thing that could allow them to log out. So let's search. Maybe we can search up here for like popover, hover card. Let's see what popover is. This is an uncontrolled popover. I don't know if we want to pop over. Guess it might work. But let's see if there's something else like a menu, like a toggle menu or something. There we go. I think this would probably be a better approach. So we could potentially take the menu. Toggle menu is a target, and this is the drop down. So let's try this. I don't really know if we could actually wrap this whole group in a toggle menu. Let's play around with this code and figure out what we're doing. Must have one parent element. So if I take the whole group out like this, and we put that inside of this. Now a lot of stuff we don't need, like the icons. What was that icon library we brought in? I don't even remember. Called Tabler React icon. So let's go back to Tabler. Okay, so here is our sign out, log off, sign out, leave, exit. Like I don't know. So this is called power. So if I just use this icon here, this, we'll say icon power, call it sign off, sign out, and let's delete the other stuff. This, transfer my data, delete my account. Yeah, let's just get rid of this stuff right now. I don't think we need a menu icon either. So hopefully if this works, what we should do is when we click on this button, we should see a sign out button. Okay. I do get an error over here. What's this error about? Button cannot appear as a descendant of button. Okay, so I think this is complaining because actually, to be honest, I'm not sure why this is complaining. Refresh the page. Click on this. What is the button that's a descendant of a button? Menu item. I mean, it's just a warning for right now. We'll come back and address this. Let's just get the auth working. I'm going to click sign out, and I want us to actually sign out of this application. So let's go to sign out. I want to say on click. And we're going to go ahead and just say sign out like this. We'll do that so ESLint doesn't complain. And now we should be able to click sign out, and it should take us out of the application. And yeah, where did our login button go? It's like gone now. So I probably messed something up with here, the login button. And yeah, I don't think the login button should be inside this unstyled button. So I think we should probably pull this out. So we're going to move the ternary up here. Like this. This button could have the nested menu. That's fine. We're going to close it off. But then we're going to render out the button. And we'll do this. And I have some type of issue going on here. Let's see, what is my issue? Unstyled button. Let's get rid of the parenthesis there. Let's put a curly brace here. Let's save it. Everything's good. Why is the login button not displaying for us? Oh, I think it's because I'm saying if there is no user data, just return, which maybe that's not what we actually want to check. Maybe we want to check the status. So the issue with the server-side rendering stuff is that like this is going to return a different value when it runs on the server versus like when it runs on the client, it'll be something else. So like maybe I feel like this is just like something's just way too overcomplicated here. But if you're not logged in, maybe we could just display a different type of thing here, right? So like if you're not logged in, bear with me, I'm gonna try this out. We'll go ahead and actually, let's get rid of this again and make sure there's nothing that I'm like accidentally running into. Like this should hopefully work, but we were getting like hydration issues before after we logged in. Kind of weird. Let's sign in again and see what happens. Yeah, there's no errors now. So I don't know why we got that weird error before, but this seems like it's working fine. I think this is working. Other than this error that's really going to bother me, I have to figure out what's going on here. I mean, I know what's going on. I have to figure out like a way to fix that. Maybe it's considered like we should use a portal and have like the menu actually render outside of this button and have like the menu hidden here. I know I can get it hacked and worked, but I know I can figure out a hack to get it working, but I don't want to focus too much time on that. Let's go back to the menu. So there's a lot of default buttons here that we don't want. So let's figure out where pull request is getting displayed, and we're going to go ahead and just like remove most of this. What we actually want is we want to have manage course. And then we can go ahead and look at some of the icons. Is there like a manage? Is there like a... Maybe we should just scroll through these and see what's something that would be useful. Like a pencil maybe? Pencil might be fine. Icon pencil. Okay, manage course, that seems fine. And then like, let's just get into a chart. We'll do like analytics or something. Chart line. Yeah, we'll do a chart area, whatever. Icon, chart, area. And we will just say analytics. Let's see how this works. Okay, that looks like mountains. That doesn't look like a freaking chart. So let's go, let's say line. Our line chart. Here we go. Chart line. I think this is good enough. We have the ability to log in and log out. We have this all hooked up with NextAuth. When you first sign in for the first time, it creates a user in your user model in Prisma into your database. And actually, okay, hold on. Let's try to change the actual like icon here. I think we can do that real quick. So let's go back to the user, and I'm going to go down to where we're displaying the avatar. Here, we actually want to display, we'll say user.data.user.image. Hopefully this works. It might not work because we probably have to allow Next to get access to this location. So let's grab this whole domain, and we're going to go to our next config. And I do believe you have to specify like things that you want to allow Next to fetch from. I don't remember how to do that, to be honest. So let's go next config allow external images to load. So we go to images, domains. Okay, so images, domains, an array of something. LH3 Google user content. LH3 Google user content. That's the domain that we want to allow these images to load from. And when you change that, you have to restart your next app, I believe. Maybe you don't. Let's see. If you save this, looks like it auto refreshes. So okay, it is crashing on something. Cannot find module server pages. What is going on here? I'll do a hard refresh one more time. I'm not sure why it's crashing. Unless there's like a syntax error here. It doesn't seem like it's source. Let's refresh this page. Yeah, I don't know why we're getting an unauth. That's so weird. Let's see, copy link address. That's the icon. That loads. Let me try copying this full domain one more time. Let's just copy it. Copy. Go back to the config. Let's just make sure I didn't screw something up here. Why is it when I copy it, it messes that up? googleusercontent.com. Let me try getting the subdomain. Don't know if that makes a difference. I guess you can't have a subdomain. So the icon for my user showing up, that's good. We also want to change the name of that. So let's go and find where we're displaying the name, which is under this one, I believe. Let's close some of this stuff because it's confusing me. Okay, so this we need to say user.data.user.name. Make sure that shows up. Okay, Cody Seibert. Don't know why it just logged me out. That's not cool. And then I don't think we have access to email. I mean, we could try and see what happens. Go ahead, refresh the page. Why is the component like looping forever? What is going on? That's so weird. Had to perform a full reload. Okay, let me do a hard refresh on the server. I don't know what's going on with Next right now. I don't know if it's Next or main time or my configuration I have going, but like I've never seen that before. Where just adding this line causes it to infinitely refresh forever. Hey, still having issues loading the image. LH3. Maybe I do. LH3. Do I need to actually add that in? This is real coding, y'all. This is just, you spend hours trying to fix simple little bugs like how do I get a freaking icon to display? Well, it's a 403, so I don't think it's actually a next error. I think it's like some other type of error. If I go over here, let's click on this. If I load this URL directly, it works. But for some reason, when I try to get this image, strict origin when cross origin. I'm going to try to refresh this one more time. If it doesn't work, it's fine. I'm just going to end this video, but it's going to be a simple fix, like a simple configuration fix, or I need to like load from a different URL because this doesn't make sense why I'm getting a 403 other than maybe it's cores, but LH3 Google user content.com/a. So I actually did find a solution. Basically on the avatar, you can pass image props and you can kind of specify what goes on the image element. And if I look at what I did, I'm passing refer policy no refer, and that allows the request to basically work to Google. This is a security thing that you typically want to have. And I guess Google seems to block it without it. So let's just wrap this up. I think we did some good progress. We have the ability to log in and log out. That's cool. So if you enjoyed watching, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, press the bell icon. And like always, I have a Discord channel. You're welcome to join if you want to talk to me directly or just find a place to hang out with some other developers and ask questions. And I have a newsletter you're welcome to subscribe to if you want to get tips and tricks about programming in the future. Have a good day and stay tuned for the next part of this series, which will be coming out soon in the future. Have a good day and happy coding.